2021. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Tembinkosi Mavimbela, Parliament.
Minister of Natural Resources and Energy Peter Pembe has officially launched the Inkomati and Maputo Watercourse Commission. Now this commission will be responsible for ensuring water availability in Eswatini, South Africa and Mozambique. The agreement has been signed by ministers responsible for water affairs in the three countries.
Ministers responsible for water affairs in Eswatini, South Africa and Mozambique have met at the Hilton Gardens Inn Hotel in Babane for a signing ceremony of an agreement that establishes the Inkomati and Maputo Watercourse Commission, which will be responsible for ensuring water availability in the three states. The commission will be hosted by Eswatini and will have a population of over 70 million to provide water to.
Siveke sitawujabula ukuthi sesiwabanga lokufanele lamanti leli office nje litakwenda ama projects lamanengi lacondzene nemanti. Siyacabanga ukuthi ngoba siyathi kusemihlabeni tincabano letinkulu tiqhamuka ekubangeni emanti. Siyakholwa ukuthi kulolo kwenteke namuhla sitaba ne-smooth distribution of water supply in all the three countries.
Minister of Water and Sanitation in the Republic of South Africa, Senzo Mchunu, says water is a basic need and therefore this commission cannot afford to fail.
Minister upfront, thank you very much for agreeing to be the host of this agreement. Not only today, but host the people who are going to be working for this agreement here and under our ministry. And I'm sure they will, from you, get a source of inspiration. You shared with us where you started as an official at some point and a professional engineer yourself. And we are lucky that this argument is going to be hosted by somebody very knowledgeable on the issue of water and the history itself.
Minister of Public Works, Housing and Water Affairs in Mozambique, João Osalvado Moises Machatine, has also supported the commission. This commission has also been endorsed by the Southern African Development Community, which was represented at the event. Also present was the country of Netherlands, which has supported the project.
The establishment of a river basin organization will play an important role in the coordinated development and management of water resources based on integrated water resource management principles.
For Eswatini TV News, Tembinkosi Mavimbela with Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, has on behalf of the government of Eswatini received 64 tractors worth 36 million emalangeni donated by the government of Japan. Speaking at Lutseluze Rural Development Area, the minister said the tractors arrived at an opportune time as it is the plowing season when small-scale farmers need them the most. Our reporter Nelson Langamanda has more on that story.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, has expressed sincere gratitude to the government of Japan for donating tractors to government. The minister was speaking at the Lutseluze Regional Development Area.
The number of tractors we are launching today is 64 and costing around 36 million in our currency and will be distributed to all the regions of the country. It is not the first time for us to receive these tractors, and it has served us well over the years. I would like to urge those who will be entrusted with the task of being operators to take care of these machines so that they serve their purpose for many years to come. We are counting on NMC to monitor the usage and ensure proper maintenance of the government fleet of tractors. We are aware that these tractors have come without the required implements such as plows, disc, planters, sprayers, which are required in farming operations. On that note, I have requested National Maize Corporation to urgently facilitate the acquisition of such equipment. In the meantime, the tractors will be using available implements that have recently been handed over to National Maize Corporation, which were used by tractors that have been bordered due to the mechanical challenges.
The minister says government appreciates every effort meant to ensure the kingdom reaches the state of food sustainability. He says the tractors will be distributed to all the 4 regions in the country. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Ngamandla with Mbongwa Dube, Lutse.
58 residents of Ntodozi constituency graduated under the technical vocational skills training offered by the Sebenda National Institute. The Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, who is also the Member of Parliament for the constituency, says vocational skills can play a huge role in uplifting the country's economy. Hence, they felt the need to work with Sebenda National Institute to train the constituents.
58 residents of the Ndondozi constituency have graduated in technical vocational education and training skills under Sebenda National Training Institute. Speaking during the ceremony at the Inkundla Center, the Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, says vocational skills can play a big role in uplifting the country's economy.
Skills. Some are on sewing, others under carpentry, and yet others are on welding. This to us is very, very good for our people because they are now able to stand on their own. In fact, it talks to the TVET of the Ministry of Education because these skills they will now be able to impart to others. But at the same time, this will improve their livelihood. This is not the first time that Sebenda has been in here. This is, if I'm not mistaken, is the 3rd cohort. And under the Inkundla, there are 7 imiphakathi. And we are very grateful that 4 of the imiphakathi were able to supply the people that are involved in here. But also
Sebenda National Institute's Chief Executive Officer Dr. Tibegile Manana explains what they offer to their students.
We are saying, even if you have never been to school, you don't know how to read, write and count, we provide that skill. But after you have acquired the skill, we are saying make use of that skill as a person, as an individual, whether you are employed or you are not employed. Make use of that skill so that you contribute or you empower yourself in your livelihood.
Nobuhle Shandu, a graduate, says undergoing the training will make it easier for them to get funding from Inkundla. She continues to say having no skill was a huge challenge because every time she requested funding, she would always be asked of her skills which she did not have.
Lokule kufundzela kutfunga lekufundzile kulesikhathi lesi kungisite kakhulu ngoba khanza sina enkundleni sihamba siyonkotha sifuna imali tenkundla manje kodwa bafune le skill ukuthi una ufundzele into umsebenzi lofuna kuwenda nyalo.
The minister says they are working with major businesses to find market for products of the residents who have graduated. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Ngamandla with Mbongwa Dube, Ndondozi.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, encourages farmers to work with their inner councils to fully utilize idle land in order to produce enough food for the country. Now, the Minister was speaking during the Maize Farmer Award ceremony at Eswatini Lodge, which is financially supported by the National Maize Corporation and Eswatini Bank with an amount of 257,000 malangeni. The Minister urges Boba Betikulu to support the farmers.
The Ministry of Agriculture, in partnership with Eswatini Bank and the National Maize Corporation, has awarded maize farmers with prize money as a way of encouraging them to produce more food for the country. The Maize Farmer Award ceremony held at Esibayeni Lodge was to the value of 257,000 malangeni. The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says he appreciates the commitment farmers have shown despite the many challenges they face. The minister urges farmers to work with imiphakathi and find idle land to use for farming. He encourages chiefs to support the farmers. The farmers won prize money ranging from 1,000 emalangeni to 30,000 emalangeni.
Siyabadzinga ke nokuthi lama farmers dikhule leti nombolo talaba labangenela lo hlelo. Siyakudzinga lokho kakhulu ngoba kutawube kuyisign yekukhombisa ukuthi kutse madodane lendzaba yekudla sitawubate iproblem nayo. Angisho naloko ukuthi qhubekani nende kucocisana phela abalimi nabo babetikhulu lela sikhona khona minengi imihlabathi lehleli lengasetshenziswa. Siyacela kube khona leto dingxoxo siphinde sinicelele nakubo nakuyo imiphakathi etindlungulo ukuthi nemane Nkosi yami nibambiseke nanicela umhlabathi wekulima nilimela ukuthi live libe nekudla lokunene. Siyathandaza ukuthi kube naloko kubambisana naloko kulalelana naleyo ndlebe nakwentiwa lo msebenzi walolo hlobo lolo.
One of the winners, Mkuqisi Dlamini, asked government to increase the buying price for a ton. He says they are running at a loss since government buys their maize at a very low price.
Sitawucela litiko mane lisibukele indzaba yeprice yembila. Lithi kuyithi thuthuna bakithi sitawukhona ukuthi lithi live lidla lesuthi nema farmers akhone kwakha inzuzo.
The minister encourages farmers to use the latest technologies in farming to avoid making losses due to climate change. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Ndlangamandla with Patizwe Msibi, Matapa.
We continue with the news. Here's a statement from the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health would like to apologize to the nation for the inconvenience caused by the stock out of various drugs. Would like to update the nation that we are currently delivering drugs as they arrive. Unfortunately, drugs do not arrive at the same time. Now, the stock out was caused by the late issue of tenders, and manufacturers would not start producing for us until there was a clear financial commitment by government. Additionally, we are faced by challenges with late payments of drugs, including prepayment for children's vaccines, which has resulted in shortages and delayed delivery. This issue has since been rectified, and drugs are currently being delivered to facilities, and deliveries will continue until all facilities are covered. Contrary to a media article on the alleged closure of a clinic, we wish to put it on record that no government clinic has closed due to drug shortage. Mangwaneni Clinic remains open and operational and has received their medicines last week. Once again, the ministry wishes to apologize for the inconvenience caused. We remain committed to ensuring quality health services for the nation at all times, by Minister Lee Sinkosi, the Minister of Health. More than 50% of people living with diabetes do not know their status, leading to late diagnosis and complications such as limb amputations and kidney diseases. Now, this was said by Health Services Director Dr. Vusi Makakula, who was representing the Minister of Health, Lee Sinkosi, during the commemoration of World Diabetes Day and Non-Communicable Diseases Strategic Plan launch.
World Diabetes Day is usually commemorated on November 14 yearly, but the country decided to commemorate the day on Thursday. And there was also a launch of the National Strategic Plan for the Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases for the year 2021 to 2023. This year's theme is Access to Diabetes Care. The Minister of Health, Lee Sinkosi, was represented by the Health Service Director, Dr. Vusi Makakula.
A STEPS survey conducted by the ministry in 2014 revealed that more than 90% of the adult population have one or more of these 5 risk factors for NCDs. The survey further revealed that in Eswatini, 14% of the population were living with diabetes, and the prevalence projected to double by 2030 if more aggressive preventive measures are not taken starting today. Even more worrisome is the fact that more than 50% of people living with diabetes do not know their status.
World Health Promotional Officer Dr. Kevin Makatsange says about 80% of people are not aware that they are living with non-communicable diseases.
Sadly, about 2/3 of people living with diabetes in African countries are unaware of their condition. Even in Eswatini, about 80, I think it was 80% of the people, they are unaware that they actually have an NCD, including diabetes.
Jason Martin, a diabetic patient, speaks about his diabetes journey.
There are three main things that I tell anybody about my personality. The strongest points is that, one, I am a believer of God above all else. Two, I am a diabetic, and I wear that as a badge and as my stripes. And three, I am a skateboarder. Because with all three, I have been able to do things that I would not have seen possible at my young age.
The minister says diabetes is a global epidemic that is growing in the world and threatens people's lives, especially in the low and middle-income countries. She says today, more than 420 million people live with either type 1 or type 2 of diabetes mellitus. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, with Vuminkosi Nzinisa Ezulwini.
The Ministry of Health has joined the world in antimicrobial week awareness with stakeholders. Now, the Ministry of Health Assistant Pharmaceutical Director Thuli Makakule says the incorrect use of antibiotics makes it hard to treat some diseases.
The Ministry of Health Assistant Pharmaceutical Director Thuli Makakule says it is worrisome that some people are incorrectly using antibiotics, which result in some diseases developing resistance.
Because government is now having to pay a lot of money to get to buy this medication, which are of high, because the ones that are commonly used cannot be used now. So we now need to buy expensive antimicrobial agencies. We are urging the citizen of Swaziland, especially our clinicians, our nurses, our pharmaceutical industries, retailers, that let's work together in stopping the resistance on the antimicrobial agencies. We have seen an increase on the resistance, so hence our clients that we see trying to treat on the most common conditions that we were able to treat, now we are seeing resistance. We are not able to treat the patients and we are seeing long stay in hospitals.
Other government ministries which are also participating in the workshop are Agriculture and Natural Resources and Energy, as well as other stakeholders like pharmacies. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, with Vuminkosi Nzinisa Ezulwini.
Let's take a look at our financial report. When we come back next, we take a look at news making headlines in the world of sports.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news making headlines in the world of sports. The Minister for Sports, Harry Seblunga, says sports administrators should put the interest of athletes ahead of their own interest. Now, the Minister was speaking when opening the Region 5 Executive Committee meeting at Eswatini Lodge in Matsapa. Certain TV's Patizwe CB has more on that story.
5 Executive Committee is currently in the country for a 2-day meeting where they will be discussing issues related to the upcoming Region 5 games and the work of the region in general. Opening the meeting was the Minister for Sports, Harry Seblunga, who highlighted the importance of athletes in the sport, where he encouraged everyone to put the interest of athletes first before their own.
Lesotho has worked diligently under an extremely challenging environment to prepare for the Games. Let us therefore use this opportunity to make a bold statement that sport can indeed unite people, stimulate regional integration, and ensure that these games provide a much needed exposure to our development athletes and serve as a stepping stone towards greatness.
The chairperson of the Region 5, Maurice Mohoto, says these games are the starting block for big international tournaments like the Olympics.
What inspires us amid all these seemingly unsurmountable challenges is the desire to pave way for our young people to pursue their dreams and explore opportunities despite the formidable challenges. Our relevance and determination will indeed be measured against the number of lives and livelihoods we've changed through sport. Our decisions to transform sport should never always be based on the financial affordability or liquidity. Rather, our decisions must be based on our ability to plan in advance, and our resolve and determination to create by investing in our youth.
The meeting will take 2 days where most of the things that will be discussed will touch on the upcoming games for the Region 5 and also going forward. And also they highlighted the importance of taking the sports forward and the ministers for each and every country to encourage their government to invest more in sports. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizo Msibi with Linda Dlamini, Esbain Lodge, Matapa.
Well, with those sports news from the sports desk marks the conclusion of our news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. But before we go, here's a quick reminder of our news-making headlines tonight. Senate has adopted the Civil Aviation Bill, Bill number 20 of 2019. The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, has on behalf of government received 64 tractors worth 36 million donated by the government of Japan. And the Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Peter Bembe, has officially launched the Inkomati and Maputo Watercourse Commission. Beautiful kingdom of Eswatini. That brings us to the conclusion of our news bulletin at 8 here at Eswatini TV. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. We shall cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the rest of the crew here at Eswatini TV. For now, it's good night and God bless.
After a hard year, we've got the Christmas you deserve with incredible savings. Like Sunlight Dishwashing Liquid Refill for just $19.99 and Lifebuoy Soap. Buy any 3 for only 27 emalangeni.